So now let's discuss the four different types of organic molecules. Okay, let's go. Let's keep going. We're almost done. This is part two. So, the four types of organic compounds are the four things you need to remember that all living things are made up of, in some way or another. Organic molecules, organic compounds, molecules and compounds, same thing, are compounds that have carbon and hydrogen at the same time and are made from living things. So, the first one is carbohydrates. Notice how carbon, hydrogen is in the name. Carbon, hydrogen, carbohydrates. The examples are starch and glucose. You can find starch and glucose, sugar. You can also find sugar in starch like bread and potatoes and things like that. So carbohydrates is one type and it's a source of energy. The next one is lipids. Lipids are fats. They also contain carbon and hydrogen backbone, and they are energy reserve. Examples of energy reserve. Next, we have protein. Proteins also have carbon and hydrogen in their molecular formula, and an example of a protein are enzymes. Yes, we have meats in terms of diet of the types of protein, but in terms of our macroorganisms, not microorganisms, in terms of our compounds and molecules, proteins are enzymes. Last but not least, we have nucleotides. Nucleotides are organic. It's DNA. Your DNA, the reasons why you look the way you do, why you even exist, is because of this magnificent, miraculous compound called deoxyribonucleic acid. So nucleotides. So one more time, carbohydrates like starch and sugar, lipids, fats, proteins, nucleotides are all examples of organic molecules. Water is not organic, okay? Water is not organic. All right, so let's finish off these couple of slides and then let's finish with our graph. So, as you can see, there's something wrong in this picture. This gentleman over here is not wearing goggles, and something's wrong here. Remember what it was? The test tube is pointed towards the face. It should be away from the face so that there's no accidental spillage here. Next, you are supposed to know the following lab equipment. This is dissecting scissors, scalpel, magnifying glass. This was a medicine dropper. This is a microscope. This is a dissecting probe, forceps, and test tube holder. This can also be called a tweezer. And that's what basically this was asking. So that one's pointing to the test tube holder, medicine dropper, tweezer, forceps, microscope. Here we come to our final part of our studying, which is the graph. Now, this is the actual graph that you're getting on the midterm, so kudos to you for actually watching this video. And I'm not necessarily giving you the answers, but more guiding you to the part that's mostly difficult for students. Now, I cut a little section off of the graph so you don't get the full picture, but you're going to be asked to do a bar graph. So a bar graph, you are going to have, let me go ahead, you're going to have bars. Let me change the color to something fun. Ooh, yes. Let me copy and paste that. So you are going to have bars. You're going to make bars in your bar graph. So your bar graph isn't going to necessarily look like this, but the thing that's most important is it's going to ask you to scale, to put your numbers in your y-axis, and it labels it. It says number of students. So you're going to put the number of students here. Now, you're not going to do it exactly like this and put 1, 3, 5, 5, 8, 4, 0, 2, 1. You're not going to do that. You have to make what's called a scale. So you are going to look at your data, find the highest number, and you're going to use the highest number and look at the spots you're given, and you're going to enter from 1 to your highest number being 8 in this particular graph data table. So you're going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it's going to stop here. So actually, let me just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So your bar graph shouldn't go higher than number 8 because there is no data. There's nothing higher than 8. So you're going to have some blank space here, which is fine. Let me go ahead and erase this because your bar graph is not going to look like that. It's going to look depending on what your data table is. So that's it. That's all the studying you need in terms of a video. The exam is long. It's 2 to 3 days long, depending on how long you take, how careful you are, how quickly you remember the answers, and there are other questions that resemble each other. So I will now, I'm off to go Christmas shopping already. Have a fantastic weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, as soon as you come in Monday and Tuesday, you're gonna go straight into doing these midterms. Please, please, please study. Watch this video one more time on your way to school. Good luck and have a fantastic, fantastic weekend.